solve it. Mr. Smith?
No, I'm pleased that my colleagues have all hit on one topic, which is the issue of high taxation, because it is a very big problem, but it's also indicative of a larger problem, which has to do with our economic climate in Anderson, Indiana. I mean, because we have certain struggles, we are collecting less tax money as a city. We've seen those declines. Now, we have increased wheel tax, we've increased other taxes. Property taxes is now the 7th highest in the state of Indiana, in Anderson City, and that's injurious to the amount of money we actually collect here. We have to have a minimum amount to run government on. We have to understand that, to pave streets, to take care of those things. So it's an economic climate all the way around that we have to really aggressively deal with. Now, that includes cutting the cost of government, ladies and gentlemen. If we have less money come in, you can only raise taxes so many times, and how many people here actually earn less money than you did 10 years ago or 5 years ago? So you have less of an ability to pay, and your house is worth less. So we need to get the budget under control.
Okay, now we're ready for the closing statements for each candidate, and Mr. Smith, you'll be happy to know you get 2 minutes for this instead of 1. But you all will be happy to know he's limited to 2 minutes. All of them, not just Kevin. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Smith.
You should have consulted me about time available for responses. I would have added something. I want to get back to how critical the issues are this time around. While during the Smith term we made huge strides in reducing the cost of government, reducing taxes, becoming very efficient as a city, there's much more room to grow in those areas. We hired a good staff. We had sharp people on board, which is the reason that we were on top in pushing new jobs into Anderson, Indiana. Creating an environment where business wanted to be, through low taxes, through planning, aggressive planning with roads and water lines and sewer lines. Those are key. Now it's 4 years later. But what I like to do is just tick through some of the things that were actually accomplished during those 4 years and compare those to the last 4 years. We paved $5 million worth of streets. We had the hanging baskets of flowers and plantings over the bridges and down Meridian Street, and we removed the snake on Meridian Street using our own staff in-house. We opened two parks, Riverbend Park, which is a canoe launch, and the Rangeline Nature Preserve that had been city held, and now it's open to the public for use. We opened the Extreme Skate Park. We offered free wireless internet in city parks. We established the fiber optic loop that encircles this city that's created so much opportunity for build-out. We demolished 418 unsafe buildings. We cleaned up industrial sites such as Remy on Scatterfield Road so we could bring in new business, and we made sure it was zoned to new business. We updated the comprehensive plan that dated from 1962, and we updated that to modern times, and there's more.
Mr. McClish.
In closing, my plan, when my administration gets in, is to work with new businesses when they come in. We offer new businesses when they come in tax abatements. When we do, a good example is Nestle. They came into our town, but what is the actual percentage of the people working at Nestle from this area? If we offer tax abatements to new businesses in this town, we need to make certain that we're guaranteed at least 60% of the employees come from this area, not from out of town. We've got to turn around and bring businesses in here that will help the people. A good example on this is Greenfield, Indiana with Toyota. When they came in, they would not take applications from anybody outside that area until they got a percentage. of the employees there. This is what my administration will do. When we bring a business in, we give them a tax abatement, we make certain that they hire 60% from this area so we can get the tax base back from the people here, and it's actually helping the people of Anderson, Indiana.
Mr. Melton.
I just want to say amen. Can you hear now? Okay, sorry about that. I just want to say amen to what Paul McClush said. We have got to bring new businesses in, but we have to have it structured so that they do hire from our city. If they go to this special school system that I'm talking about and talking with other people in the community about, they will have to be a part of the community. They'll have to be hiring from the city to bring them in and to pay a lot of money for their utilities so that they can function, and then they go to Carmel and hire people. It's just unforgivable. Unforgivable. And the next businesses we bring in, they have to have that understanding. Thank you.
Mr. Stapleton, your closing remarks.
Well, it looks like you made a good hit there, buddy. The fact is, both those gentlemen are correct. When we bring companies to Anderson and we pay for the infrastructure, when we pay for the tax abatements, that's your tax money. You should expect a percentage of jobs. I don't know if that's 50, 60, or 70%, but that ought to be in the agreement before they're coming here. I know it's a competitive market, and some of those things are very difficult, but the fact is, other communities that are bringing business to their areas, they are getting those commitments from companies, and we need the same. We need to expect the same from our tax dollars. If I'm elected mayor, I will be out and sell Anderson like a professional salesman every day. I do understand that the fact is, as government, we don't create jobs. Businesses create jobs. Business people create jobs. The best thing we can do is get out of the way and let them work. There are certainly assistance that we can give to them occasionally, but the fact is not restricting everything that they want to do and not causing them to have to buy permits for everything they do. The governmental costs are outrageous for businesses to expand. It was mentioned that parks were built and this was done and that was done. You know, cost cutting in government is a big issue, and I want to close with this. The reason there was so many things able to be done in a prior administration because there was a health care cost savings that Councilman Papella and I worked on that saved millions of dollars in taxes, which allowed many of those programs to be developed. And those are cost-saving matters that we have to continue to look for. Thank you very much.
And last but not least, Mr. Adcock.
Well, business goes in cycles. We have highs and lows, and right now we're in the low, as I mentioned, and so of course we need to get out and promote jobs. Now, how are we going to do that? We, of course, the up and coming kids, we need to encourage our schools. We need to encourage our seniors and our churches to back the kids in schools, and then we need adult education. We need to employ our resources that we have in Anderson University and Ivy Tech and Harrison College, and I think we can bring our folks up by the bootstraps. We went by the Chamber of Commerce, and Kyle over there told us that right now there are 2,500 jobs available in Anderson, but people can't actually fill out they can't fill out the forms to apply. And so we need to help them come up to speed. We need to help all of our folks come up to speed. And I would encourage having a clean, open, fishbowl type government. That's the way I would run the place. Anyway, whatever happens, I want the best for Anderson. No matter who wins, I wish Anderson all the best. We want to do everything for Anderson to win.
All right, folks, let's give these candidates an round of applause. And now you gentlemen can take a seat out in the auditorium. We'll take a few minutes here. If you need to get up and stretch, you can do that, and then we'll get right to the Democrats.